CTV is all about the audience. It's totally a reverse of the linear space that we were in, 10, 12 years ago, to where we're audience targeted. So having the right audience targeting on the front end, and that's where our collaboration with Experian to be able to use that really premium data to target those fresh in market auto shoppers, data that's refreshed on a much more frequent basis than some of the third party modeled segments out there, really drives results on that front end to reach the right audience.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It is Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of Supposed to Be in the Booth by Experian. In the Booth? It was supposed to be in the booth with Experian. I have Kirsten with Experian, and I have Aaron. Guys, what's up? How you doing?
Good this morning, Jason. How are you?
Good. What's up, Kirsten? How you doing?
I am doing well. Yeah. I feel like we need those, like that kind of popular social media photo right now, right? Where like everybody's in the little box, right? Like we're we couldn't be in the booth, so we're in the online box.
Yes, that's right. We are in the online box. And I know we had plans to do this at NADA, and I think like most people's plans at NADA, it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. But hey, for some of us, Aaron, did you make it? By the way, I didn't ask. Did you make?
No, actually, I could not make it. I just could not get another flight in. So unfortunately, like a lot of people, just could not make it in.
Well, it was cool. It was cool. I will say it was definitely smaller. So it was one of the more, I would say, intimate NADAs that I've been to at a long time versus just that, that mob of people that were there. But I'm glad we were able to find some time and connect, because there's definitely some cool stuff that I wanted to chat with both of you guys about. Because the two of you guys had put this really cool kind of this data-driven case study. All right. And I think dealers out there really need to be aware of this, because I'm a firm believer, I've said this on many podcasts, that, if that CTV, or what's considered new CTV, all right, is the path. The big screen is the path, all right, for future marketing. But I still think there's a lot of unknowns out there around how to do it, and what's the targeting parameters, what can be targeted, what's the attribution. So guys, I just want to get into it. Kirsten, I'll start with you from a data perspective, and then Aaron, I'll kind of follow up with you from the execution perspective. Tell me a little bit about this case study that you guys did together.
Yeah, so we were so excited about these results, Jason. We did a case study we published last fall, and it was based on the results of a marketing campaign that Strategus executed. And what they did was and certainly Aaron can, share all sorts of details about this, but they worked with a tier 2 regional advertising agency representing a very large OEM. And they wanted to understand the performance of their connected TV campaign. So they evaluated the activity and attributed actual vehicle sales to the campaign. So the part that I love the most, though, is working with Experian. They were able to look at the vehicles that the dealers sold, the vehicles that their competitors sold, and really make real-time adjustments to this campaign to achieve even additional lift and results.
No, that's cool. So it's not just a data-driven in the sense of the audience itself, but also having that feedback
Mhm.
loop to strategically adjust in real time. Aaron, tell us a little bit kind of about the campaign, and maybe some examples of how you executed.
Yeah, absolutely. We initiated a programmatic campaign targeting previous buyers of a specific vehicle model in that targeted region for that OEM. We leveraged connected television advertising as that first view, aiming to really raise awareness among that target audience. But then additionally, we used some remarketing techniques to serve online video and display to the viewers of those CTV ads to really drive a fuller funnel campaign. And to Kirsten's point, the results were quite impressive. The target audience consisted of over 100,000 households in that region. And we showed 133% vehicle purchase lift over what our control group showed. And then additionally, we used that information to optimize that campaign as we went forward. Who's buying the targeted vehicles, who's buying competitive vehicles, and being able to optimize the audiences and the delivery to drive even further lift over the unexposed audience.
Now, those are kind of numbers as a dealer I get a little excited about. I'm not gonna lie, right? I mean that's a big swing, and that's definitely a home run right there, especially when we're
Yeah.
thinking about retention, right? So we're talking about these were existing customers, right? And I
Yeah.
it's look, I all dealers out there, if you're watching and listening right now, I don't think there's a dealer out there that doesn't have a deep desire, right, to really increase, their retention and their loyalty back to them. And
Hmm.
but sometimes it's tough. It ain't easy. I mean, here's the thing, and then here's the reason why no one builds a bad car anymore. It's not like, there's a lot of competition out there, It's like me and my wife right now, we're in that market right now. We're looking at a Hyundai Palisade and a Kia Telluride and this and that and this and this. It's like, and you read the reviews, guess what? They're all good. But it definitely would be a different experience if our original selling dealer was, and finding some way to stay directly connected and stay top of mind. I think top of mind is the biggest thing. And wouldn't you say that? I mean, as far as like some of the objectives that you guys set for this campaign, what were some of those objectives, and how does that kind of play out in dealership language?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, loyalty was a main driver of this campaign to be able to access those vehicle owners of the brand to promote that loyalty and drive that top of funnel awareness with CTV. But one of the great things that came out of the Experian Omni Impact data was that competitive models that they were purchasing and be able to not only maintain that loyalty focus, but also then optimize the campaign to then go after those competitive shoppers within the market to again take those people who may have been looking at a Hyundai, a Kia, or some other brand or purchasing those brands, optimize our campaign to also target them to move those over into the target brand.
Which is awesome, right? I mean, being able to use the living room as kind of the initiation, all right, but to go omni-channel and connect, both these online sources to kind of this offline in living room experience. I mean, isn't that kind of, like, I mean, Kristen, we've talked a lot about this in the past, right? I mean, marketing shouldn't necessarily be an objective. Marketing should be an experience where we want to experience our marketing. And if you're not going omni, then there's really I only get it in one channel versus another channel. But when it's collective, that's got to be a really big deal, right? I mean, Kirsten, wouldn't you say, being able to use your experience data set to omni target, multiple channels is,
Mhm.
the dealership should be ultimately that's the way to be doing it correctly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, reaching the target audience where they want to be reached, and then having the ability to reach those same audience members on multiple channels and measure it. I mean, because even if you're trying to reach similar audiences, are you really reaching Kirsten on streaming on her phone, on, so on and so forth? Or is it just someone like Kirsten? So having that true omni channel impact is just absolutely so important. And then the measurement. And I get so excited about the measurement piece because it is really the data and what were the results and what happened and how can we improve it. And as Aaron said, how can we not only give a reverse look back of the results and success, but modify in real time to make adjustments to improve the current performance. And, one thing I'm so proud of with this case study. And this is absolutely a little bit of a humble brag for, both Experian and Strategist here. But with this case study specifically, we were announced as a finalist for the Ad Age 2024 Global Marketing Awards in the best use of data category. And we were so proud of the results, but so proud to receive that recognition from the industry and from Ad Age about how this campaign was executed and the results of it. So we were really, really proud of that.
That is super cool. And look, and going back to what you were saying about being able to attribute, analyze, and adjust in real time, I think is huge, right? For any dealers out there watching, and listening right now. I mean, come on, we build a campaign, we run a campaign for 30 days, we analyze the success of it, we make some adjustments, and then we step back up to the plate and we swing again. All right, I mean, we're talking about
Mhm.
adjusting mid swing. All right. What those targeting or even what the messaging was. Aaron, I'm curious for you because I've run campaigns like this before, and I've always kind of found like as I'm going through the process, something pops up. I'm like, huh, I would have never guessed that. Was there anything that you kind of saw as you were going through it, go, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. I wasn't expecting to see blank. Anything like that for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, with this campaign, we definitely had some insights with that, the Omni Impact reporting into different audiences that we should go after that we never expected. Some competitive models, even some lifestyle triggers that came back for certain audiences that were really resonating with some of the messages. But to your point, it was also messaging, looking at what creatives were driving what actions on that post view attribution with Omni Impact and some other different attributions models we had, really being able to take all of that information and say, okay, this is the creative that's really driving the best results. It's driving those down funnel results to get people to the website, to get people onto the showroom floors and ultimately purchase a car. And working with our agency partners to craft new messaging going forward was key to increasing the success, but it was all based on the data returns that we were receiving to make those really informed decisions.
See, look, as a marketer, that gets me excited. Just the ability to adjust in mid swing. Like I said, I was just historically, this is the way that automotive marketing has always worked. Get up to the plate with the best
Mhm.
strategy that we think is going to work, right? With the best audience and the best message and the best channels and the best percentage or mix of those channels. And it's like and we swing and we give it 30 days. But to be able to
Mhm.
make those type of adjustments on the fly, damn, that's cool. That's just cool,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Kristen, what did that like? Me and you've talked about marketing so much. I mean, come on, to be
Mhm.
able to make that type of adjustments in real time like that, but not just over one channel. So guys, if you're out there watching, listening, we're not talking about one channel. We're not talking about just CTV, even though I'm deeply in love with CTV. We're talking about over multiple networks and multiple social platforms and multiple and not even that just ad formats, it's the formats itself. I mean, you guys were trying all these different things simultaneously. Anyways, sorry, I get a little excited about stuff like
Yeah.
Kirsten.
I
There
get
were
so excited about it. I always love when someone's as enthusiastic as I am.
Aaron, we got a chance to chat a little
Mhm.
bit before we got recording, and I know this wasn't necessarily on our docket, but I think it's a timely, conversation to have. And since I got the data queen herself, and and I got someone this entrenched into the world of CTV, I'm like, I got to talk about this because it's been coming up. I know there's not a large percentage of dealers out there that are currently using CTV, and I think some of that is because maybe they just there's a level of education they don't know. The fact that they don't know that you can do omni-channel, which I think is amazing, right? That's one, but something I ran into recently that I thought I'd want to pick your brain a little bit is I had a dealer friend reach out to me who was very excited about a CTV campaign that he ran, and that he was able to run these campaigns on these very high dollar networks. I was looking at this report. We're talking about, 15, $18 CPMs on Hulu and $30 CPMs on Disney. And look, guys, I'm not a CTV expert, but I do have a general idea of what inventory cost. And this sounded insane to me. Aaron, then you were telling me that there is some quote unquote like fake inventory. Is that a good way to say it? How would you say that? And what should dealers
So
be looking for?
yeah, I don't know if I call it fake, but it's definitely there's a lot of different ways to deliver CTV into publishers and a lot of different um, quote unquote deals that can be made. So some things could come back as Disney, but it's not Disney Plus. It could be substations, sub channels of Disney within the Disney network, and things of that nature that quite frankly aren't that premium channel that you may think you're getting. Um, Same with Hulu, same with a lot of the other ones. Paramount's a big one. It'll say Paramount Networks, which could be anywhere from somebody watching MTV via Pluto all the way through a CBS channel on Pluto, but it's not Paramount Plus. So really working with a partner that really gives you that designation of we're putting you here and we have the deal IDs and we're going to report back not only we're going to get you on Hulu, but here's some of the networks within Hulu that you appeared on, which we have in our reporting to really be really transparent with that to make sure that you're getting what you're paying for. To your point, Jason, $8, $18 on these premium networks is a red flag. Um, they're not even, Paramount's not selling ad space for that. Hulu's not selling ad space for that. So to be able to buy it for that on that end is just not going to be something that's a true premium network. So it is a watch out for dealers to become educated, to work with a partner who's very transparent and exactly where your ads are going and exactly where your ads are going across the omni-channel. Are they on CTV? Are they on online display or social or online video? To really know exactly where your ads are going to really judge the effectiveness of that campaign.
Well, because I'm with you, right? I mean, it's one thing to have a premium audience data from Kirsten over here in Experian, and then
Right.
to go use it in a way that may not be for premium spots. And look, hey, dealers out there, y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? Because we've done radio, right? I did it, all right? You know that there is a different cost, okay, running, your radio spot during that AM hour when everybody's going to work, all right, that PM hour when everybody's coming home from work. All right, I think as an industry, we understand that there is expense to a premium slot or a premium space to put
Mhm.
our marketing in. So it just dealers out there, if anybody's claiming these big things, just be aware of that and make sure you reach out to Aaron and find yourself a good proper partner that's using quality data from the data queen herself.
And to your point, Jason, data is king. That CTV is all about the audience. It's totally a reverse of the linear space that we were in, 10, 12 years ago, to where we're audience targeted. So having the right audience targeting on the front end, and that's where our collaboration with Experian to be able to use that really premium data to target those fresh in market auto shoppers, data that's refreshed on a much more frequent basis than some of the third party modeled segments out there really drives results on that front end to reach the right audience.
And actually, I think that's a perfect segue kind of into our next
Mhm.
conversation. And Kirsten, this is going to be for you because I wanted to get into the attribution conversation. And I think Kirsten, you talked a lot
Mhm.
about using Experian data for audience targeting. I don't think people realize that you're sitting
Mhm.
also on attribution data, all right, and how this can all come
Yeah.
together. And you guys, kind of got together. Tell me a little bit about the data that's currently being provided to provide some of that attribution information.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Experian, we have the unique advantage because of our ability to leverage multiple data sources that are in-house, right? So as an original source compiler, we have statistical credit information, we have vehicle history information, we have marketing databases, and all of that together really provides just unparalleled intelligence, allowing us to deliver these insights and then also measure the return on investment of marketing strategies. So, providing that full funnel approach. And I mean, working with someone like Strategist, that is really exciting for me is we are able to bring this to all of our clients, right? Where I know Joel Cox at Strategist has been really vocal about that of collaborating with Experience has just allowed the democratization of this measurement solution. And you're able to provide it to dealers regardless of their size or sales volume. And that just hasn't been something that has always been necessarily historically true. So we're excited to just be able to offer this, but to offer it to so many people within the
Well, and
industry.
and look, I love what you're saying there because you're right, 100%, right? I mean, attribution engines kind of in this level of complexity has not been something that the tier 3 level has necessarily have access to. It's something you typically see in a tier 1, and I get it because, like driving F1 is not cheap, right? But you're right, it has kind of come down to where it's like, yes, dealers can still participate and take advantage of these amazing engines that can drive their marketing strategies moving forward. I mean, the attribution is at the core of any good advancement in any solid strategy. And Aaron, man, you sounds like you guys have really taken this engine and built something really, really phenomenal because you're covering not only the CTV, but you're going fully omni-channel. But tell me a little bit about kind of at high level, what was your approach in developing your guys' attribution engine?
Yeah, absolutely. Attribution is king, especially for auto. Being able to show from a CTV ad that's non-clickable and all the way through the omni-channel into the clickables. But really, everything we're doing is a lot of interruptive and disruptive marketing. Our clients or our prospects are watching a television show, we're placing an ad in front of them. So they're going to react later. So being able to capture a post view visit. They saw one of our ads, they came back later. And where did they go on that dealer's website? What VDPs did they look at? And ultimately, with partnering with Experian over the last 10 months to develop this new omni impact that we can provide to the tier 3 dealers, also show any vehicle that the exposures bought post view to say, okay, yes, they bought your Fords, but they also bought Chevys. So again, taking that information to be able to optimize that campaign in real time to enhance that loyalty, but also go after the competitive nature. Being able to bring that level of just complete attribution from website visit to foot traffic to vehicle purchases by the exposed audiences is something that auto dealers can grasp. They can see the numbers, they can see what their campaign's doing every month. We can improve the campaign every month based on that data. And it's something that's never been available in the market up until today.
No, I mean, look, marketing managers, I'm out there. If you're listening, I'm talking to you directly right now, right? You guys know that, to get this type of level of, attributed data or insights, we're typically waiting for a campaign to end. And in some cases, it could be 10 or 15 or 20 days after a campaign to end. And then we utilize those insights and we make adjustments to our messaging and maybe some of the audience targeting. And then we go and attempt to do it again. But Aaron, what you're saying is we can do this in real time. I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait to do this, but also not only do I have to collect, the attribution on all these different channels, and then for myself, now I'm not only a marketing manager, I have to be a data freaking expert, all right, to try to bring it all in together. Because you guys have taken an omni approach to this, I can actually see in real time what those channels are and how they're affecting and what I need to make adjustments to make better performance. I mean, just I don't know. I mean, for one marketing manager to any other marketing managers that they're listening to, like, guys, that's a big deal. I mean, I can just in my head, I'm thinking to me, Aaron, where I go with this is ad waste or ad spend waste,
Mhm.
right? Like, I mean, I do my damnedest not to waste money, but the speed of that data coming back to me naturally just that's what happens, right? Anyways, I digress. Love this. I really, really love this attribution engine. I know we're getting towards the tail end of our time, guys. And you know me, I could, Kirsten, comes to marketing, data, attribution engines. Come on, I can talk about this crap all day long. I love this stuff. But I think we covered a fair amount, and I definitely think that there's some conversations that still need to be had, elements of this conversation today that needs to be continued. So, Aaron, for everybody out there watching, listening right now, who would love to kind of connect with you and maybe continue some part of today's conversation, because I still think there's a lot to kind of dive into here. What's the best way to connect with you, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, strategist.com, or you can connect with me directly. My email is aaron@strategist.com. Happy to answer any questions and obviously roll through what the possibilities are with not only our targeting, but our attribution specifically for auto dealers.
Man, I love it. I'm excited for any dealers out there that will jump on this offer and have these conversations with you. Kirsten, for any of my agency friends out there that have been listening and didn't even know that they had some of these additional data sets available to them, Kirsten, how can they reach out to you? How can they have those contacts and say, hey, I want to do that with Aaron too? Um, how can they have those conversations with you, Kirsten? What's the best way to connect?
Yeah, absolutely. We'd welcome that. And we'll give everybody the link to the case study if they'd like to view additional details, reference any of the information we chatted about. And then, of course, anyone is always welcome to contact me. LinkedIn is probably the easiest. You can always reach me at my email as well, kirsten.vonbush@experian.com, or you can just submit an inquiry on experian.com auto data.
Thank you so much. Hey, for everybody out there watching and listening, we appreciate you. You are awesome because you listen to the show. But I will say this, the biggest compliment you can ever get a content creator in the world is to share the show. All right. If you got a marketing manager or a GM or even an agency friend of yours that needs to listen to this conversation, please share the show. It means so much to us. Again, thank you so much for your time, and you all have an